The world's population is aging. It is estimated that by 2050, more than 20% of the population will be over 60 years old. As healthcare needs grow in an aging population, AI applications in medical devices are set to be the next major trend in industrial development.
For 50 years, Taiwan's medical device companies had mainly been classed as original device manufacturers for big overseas firms. Only recently have businesses embarked on a strategic rethink that not only entails branding but an R&D campaign to upgrade their offerings. Some have even taken their products abroad to competitions.
But in their campaign to create brands, Taiwan's companies can't compete with the reputation, scale, or spending of major international manufacturers. What do they have to do to compete with the giants of the industry? Our Sunday special report.
When a surgeon is deciding where to cut, he can use this resection guide. He would think, I want this number, this size, so that the knee replacement will fit.
Meet the world's newest surgical instrument. It's a resection guide designed for use in knee replacement surgery.
Each artificial joint has a size, and every size has a gap. Here, the gap is 0.2 centimeters, that is to say 2 millimeters. If this doesn't work, you can fine-tune it. I can adjust it to be a bit lower or slightly higher.
The R&D was challenging and the process complicated. The company spent 2 years developing this project and invested more than 200 million NT. For the ability to shorten operating times, this innovation won an international patent award. But compared to medical device companies overseas, Taiwan's manufacturers are young and small scale. What do they have to do to be competitive? Besides ensuring product quality, targeting different customer needs with custom solutions is a key strength of Taiwan's medical device sector.
We've also made many customized surgical instruments. For example, some surgeons might say, I want the specific femoral cut. This is how I want to cut. They know how they want to do it. A small factory can respond very quickly. I'm able to custom make a solution for you. For a big factory, that's very difficult. Currently, our company has 2 Taiwan factories and 680 employees. Among them, 100 are engineers, and 50 of those engineers do R&D. So we put a lot of resources in R&D.
Indeed, Taiwan's medical device R&D is among the strongest in Asia. And yet, in Taiwan's hospitals and clinics, most of the devices used are not made in Taiwan, but shipped in from abroad.
In healthcare, and particularly emergency care, 80% of the devices at hospitals is imported. This is because Taiwan's market in terms of medical devices, 1% is only 0.65% of the world, less than 1%. Most of the medical devices made in Taiwan are exported. Why? Because the production must be supported by volume.
Taiwan's medical device sector began in the 1950s with the production of medical masks, cotton products, and dressings made from home at small scale. In the 1970s, Taiwan's manufacturers began doing OEM for foreign firms and focusing on exports.
Blood pressure meters, gloves, masks, because these products are on the low to mid end of medical devices. There's a lower technical threshold to cross. Taiwan's overall economic development happens to align with the growth of the medical devices industry. Back in the stage of development, such products made up the bulk of medical devices exports.
It's box after box of blood glucose test strips. 100 million strips are exported each month. The manufacturer based at Hsinchu Science Park started 20 years ago making products for foreign companies. Today, it makes a variety of blood glucose and pressure monitors for export to the US, Europe, and elsewhere. Every month, it exports 150,000 to 200,000 units. Dr. Thomas Shen, the company's CEO, says that in the fiercely competitive global market, success too often comes down to price cutting.
Here
in Taiwan, there are so many companies. It's a sea of red. The landscape is strewn with casualties as prices are slashed lower and lower. Overseas, people notice that your prices are so low. That piques their interest. For an old company like ours, low prices are a highly unfavorable factor, but it's also one reason that Taiwanese products are out there.
From the perspective of the industry at large, OEM is Taiwan's crowning accomplishment, lowering costs, delivering quality, and cutting lead times as much as possible. We have all that down to a fine art. Taiwan will always have these abilities.
For 50 years, OEM work helped power Taiwan's medical device industry. Yet Taiwan's R&D talent and its nimble SMEs are huge competitive advantages. Must Taiwan forever be relegated to the role of an OEM?
真正国外的大厂，它自己的好。
The major manufacturers of the world won't give you the best products to assemble because the profit margin is always above 60% or even 80%. So I go to them and ask them to give me better products. They refuse once, twice, a year passes, then two. Then I realize that my future is held down by a ceiling.
To crack that ceiling, businesses need to break free of the OEM mindset. Only through R&D, innovation, and brand creation can they compete with the world's century-old enterprises.
你就把功夫练上来，那练到一定地步以后，
You keep building skills, and once you've reached a certain level, you refine them. Your company's capabilities only get stronger. When the time comes that your product quality surpasses that of OEMs, you can create a separate, better brand and start selling under your own name. It takes about 10 years, a decade of honing the sword.
In 1990, a medical ventilator company was established. It spent its first decade as an OEM. In the year 2000, it began to do its own R&D. Later, it created its own brand. But managing one's own brand isn't easy. It requires going overseas to set up distribution sites and sales teams and to build trust with physicians.
品牌的东西，我认为是靠这两只脚。
I think that a brand stands on these two legs. The quality of your product is in itself a market differentiator. On top of that, you provide excellent local service. It's on point. These two legs support your brand value.
When creating a brand, another problem surfaces. It's the problem of having to fight patent battles with global companies.
RandD 现在不是一个是非的问题哦。
Patents aren't about right or wrong. They are a tool for business warfare. U.S. statistics show that more than 90% of patent lawsuits are resolved through settlements. But small businesses can't withstand the settlement process. We were involved in a lawsuit that also arrived at a settlement. Even without encountering a courtroom, we spent $3 million US.
This lawsuit with a major U.S. manufacturer was eventually settled, although this small fish that faced a deep-pocketed whale left the encounter badly bruised. But such encounters can also provide the fire that forges a strong company.
经历过专利战以后，我们才知道那个水有多深。
It was only after a patent war that we saw we were in the deep end. So we established a patent team. Using patents and the law, we got down to it and started working on market differentiation.
那专利在医材来讲非常的重要。
Patents are very important to the medical devices sector. It's about protecting the products you develop so later on, when it's in the market, it's not copied or infringed upon.
Maintaining a patent is followed by the complex processes of international medical certification. Currently, most of Taiwan's medical manufacturers are going it alone, each engaged in a solitary and strenuous process.
现在台湾做的临床实验，美国接受。
Today, clinical trials conducted in Taiwan are accepted in the U.S., but they are not accepted in many other countries. You still have to go to those countries and conduct trials there, so clinical trials are an enormous expense. Also, with some clinical trials, you must arrange to have your own people. If they won't do it, we wouldn't dare to go over there.
From clinical trials to sales to after-sales service, must Taiwan's medical device manufacturers go through the process alone? Must they only have themselves to depend on for success?
其实国内的医疗器材的厂商哈，
As a matter of fact, our domestic medical device manufacturers are quite capable and their products are high quality. To enhance their international competitiveness, the most important thing is that our domestic regulations are comprehensive. They should be aligned with international regulations as much as possible. Taiwan has already adopted GMP standards, that is, good manufacturing practice standards. By building the industry on the foundation of the GMP, or quality, we improve our chances at getting recognized abroad.
The government helps businesses get certified internationally, but Taiwanese firms that want to shine in the global arena still must devote themselves to R&D.
预估可能5年以内，一个医材的一个革命就会发生。
It's predicted that within 5 years, a medical revolution will transpire. We must quickly undergo a metamorphosis. This metamorphosis depends most critically on the government stepping in to help us. How can it help? I have to say it's by bringing about integration.
The world's population is continuing to age. It's estimated that by 2050, 22% of the world's population will be over 60 years old. smart medical care is about to become the battleground of the next generation.
开始按下去，它就会进行治疗，然后一旦治疗结束的时候，它就把资料上传到云端。
The red and blue lines on the screen track every second of a patient's sleep cycle. This treatment for sleep apnea is a continuous positive airway pressure machine. It's produced by a Taiwanese manufacturer that applied cutting-edge tech to medical products. This application of AI and big data analysis has received significant attention in the medical device industry.
一方面可以方便医疗机构提供服务。
For one thing, it makes it easier for medical institutions to provide services. For another, it helps doctors make timely diagnoses. Because all your data is uploaded straight to the cloud, the doctor can simply take their account ID, type it in, complete authorization, and see all the results of the statistical analysis.
因为跟人家拼价钱实在拼得满头包。
When you compete on the basis of price, you end up with a lot of headaches. So instead, you do all you can to upgrade the product. For one thing, we wanted to leverage existing electronic technologies to lower costs. For another, we hope to enhance product quality and functionality in order to compete.
As Taiwan develops its own brands, the biggest benefit yielded has been collaborations with local hospitals. For instance, there's this wireless ECG monitoring system that's fitted on the patient. Through wireless transmission, doctors and nurses can monitor the patient's status on a computer 24 hours a day.
As the patients are walking around in our ward, we can monitor their vital signs here. Say that today a patient suddenly had a dangerous bout of arrhythmia. We'd be able to see that instantly.
这个系统旧了不一定装了很久之后都没有用。
This life-saving system might be of no service for a long time. Maybe we'll never catch a patient in trouble. But if it could just be used to catch just one patient and to save that one life, then it has proved its value.
成大是一个大学的医院嘛。
Chengong University Hospital is an academic hospital. It is an excellent clinical laboratory. It draws on university resources through the Medical Device Innovation Center. The school's resources in materials, medical and electrical engineering, and even management combine to create this excellent hospital system. Tainan Science Park is nearby. That's a hub of medical device development. So medicine, academia, and industry converge to form a one-stop ecosystem. We strongly encourage domestic manufacturers to take advantage of this high-quality medical setting and run clinical trials. We do want to encourage the domestic use of domestic products to support the development of Taiwan's medical devices.
The hospital promotes the local use of Taiwan-made products in hopes of driving the nation's next tidal wave of growth and to improve healthcare.
很重要的一个概念叫做品牌台湾。
There's a very important concept called branding Taiwan. Treat Taiwan as if it were a brand of medical devices. Then in your capacity as the government, provide assistance with the various aspects of marketing. I believe that slowly but surely people will take notice. Your medical devices are Taiwanese. Your brand is Taiwan. Then they'll come to Taiwan looking for the excellence that each and every one of our medical devices companies can deliver.
From serving as an OEM provider to building a national brand, Taiwan has leveraged its strengths in R&D and flexibility to foray into the global market. Taiwan's medical device sector is on track to find its niche as it strikes out on a path of its own.